Taylorsville Road, and it's running rather slowly westbound all the way over into the Poplar Level area. Let's see here. I don't actually physically see any tornado activity at the moment, but it does look highly suspicious down there beyond the Iroquois Park area and out in the southwest. So that appears to be the area that's affected at the moment. All in all, I know of no specific accidents and so forth, but wet pavements, strong gusty winds, I can certainly testify to those. So be extra careful, particularly on bridges and overpasses. Dick Gilbert, Skywatch 84.
WHAS Sports 84.
All right, looking at sports this afternoon. Tonight, game number 2 in the Kentucky-Carolina ABA first-round playoffs. Freedom Hall, 7:55 airtime on the Cutley Giant. Final approval has been given for spring harness racing dates at Lexington's Red Mile, where a 44-night meet opens on April 26th. Norm Sloan of North Carolina State, he's the National College Basketball Coach of the Year named today. And an announcement is expected today or later on today in Cincinnati on whether Henry Aaron will play in tomorrow's season-opening baseball game, where Vice President Gerald Ford will throw out the first baseball.
There's a shanty in the town on a little body ground with the green grass growing all around, all around.
Okay, let's cut in here. Chuck Paddock is here with a phone call. Chuck.
Okay. John Burke is on the phone, and he is about to leave the Weather Service. I understand you've got the tornado sighted there.
No, I don't see a tornado, but here comes the wind. We're hitting winds up to good gracious sakes alive.
How high is the wind speed at this time?
There's 50 right there. By golly, the whole thing's going, hit, I'm going, good.
Okay. John Burke at the National Weather Service office at the airport. John Burke at the National Weather Service office at the airport. Apparently the tornado activity over there at this time. We'll be checking back as soon as he can get back into that area.
What did he mean by I'm going? It sounded almost like the wind was at the Weather Bureau. Is that what he meant?
John was telling me before we got on that he was going to have to get out of there quick.
Oh, I see.
And apparently he got out of there quicker than he wanted to. We've had tornado activity over southern Louisville at this time in the airport area, and I would suggest that you take cover immediately if you're in any of the factories or in any of the areas there. And, Jeff, I would appreciate it if one more time you could go over those tornado safety rules for people.
All right, I certainly will. All I've got to really do is find them, Chuck, which might just take a second. You sort of caught me at a loss
well,
here.
In that case, we'll go over what we have right now.
Right.
Tornado warning in effect for Metro Louisville, Jefferson County, and primarily at this point, the tornado activity is over the airport. That's in southern Louisville, and anybody in that area should take cover at this time. John Burke at the Weather Service reported a visual sighting of it, and he has taken cover at this time, and I think it would be wise if anybody in that area would move to an interior hallway of their home. If they have no basement, go to the basement immediately. Take a radio with you if you have one. And if you're in a factory, move to the strongest part of the factory, the most strong construction, and for all purposes, stay away from windows. Here's Jeff with the safety rules.
Let me see if I got this straight before you run off, Chuck. I apparently didn't understand you, and I don't want to, press the point, but I was a little confused. Was the fact that they were having difficult weather at the Weather Bureau itself?
Definitely. He said he had sighted the high winds and that it was just a matter of a few moments before he felt there would be a tornado there, and apparently at this point there is a tornado at the airport. Perhaps Dick Gilbert could check in and tell us what he sees at this point.
Well, okay, Dick, if you're up there in Skywatch 84, what can you add? Well, apparently he might be on another frequency or something. Let me go over these rules here.
Okay, good. Maybe Dick will check back with us.
They are important. Seek inside shelter, preferably in a tornado cellar, basement, or steel-framed or reinforced concrete building of substantial construction. Stay away from windows. In homes, the corner of the basement toward the tornado, usually the southwest corner, generally offers the greatest safety. People in houses without basements will receive some protection by taking cover under furniture, such as a table against inside walls. Now, in office buildings, stand in an interior hallway or lower floor, preferably in the basement. In factories, on receiving a tornado warning, post a lookout. Workers should move quickly to sections of the plant offering the greatest protection. In schools, go to basement if available. If there is no basement but building is of reinforced construction, stay inside away from windows whenever possible. Go to interior hallway on the lowest floor. Avoid auditoriums and gymnasiums with large, poorly supported roofs. And finally, in open country, move away from the tornado's path at a right angle. If there is no time to escape, lie flat in the nearest depression, such as a ditch or a ravine. It's 4:40. Bob Johnson has joined us. Bob?
Jeff, the city police say that a tornado is moving across the southern part of the city. It was spotted near the fairgrounds, moving from the south generally toward the north. They say that it has touched down near the fairgrounds and apparently damaged Freedom Hall. We don't have any more details at this time other than the fact that people in the Louisville area should take cover.
Okay, and on that, our lights in here begin to blink. Okay, Bob, I appreciate any more that we... When you get information, we'll have it right on the air. Let's see if we can contact our traffic tracker, Dick Gilbert, in Skywatch 84 for a report. Dick?
Yes.
Okay. Can you fill us in anything more on what you can see from your vantage point?
Well, it's a spectacular sight. The low clouds, very black low clouds. Let's see. At the moment, they're just about over Bowman Field out at Taylorsville Road area. And it is swirling around, and it looks like smoke underneath it. There is no real tight, definitive tornado as such. It's still turning in a large... Yes, there's one now. Started, yes, dipping down from the bottom of the cloud. And let's see, that will be over in the Highlands and probably along Bardstown Road and somewhere near Eastern Parkway is where I guess that one is. The power transformers have been blowing irregularly in the path of this thing, big, large explosions of blue-white light that help to clock it pretty well. Now, it's clearing up very nicely behind it. As a matter of fact, just south of Standiford, it's clear. I can see all of the hills. The Iroquois Park area is just about out of it now. But it is definitely moving up toward the Crescent Hill water tank now, and I'm starting to get some strong, very strong gusts way out here on Bardstown Road near the GE plant. That's the way it looks to me. Be very, very careful. Dick Gilbert, Skywatch 84.
Okay, Dick, thank you, and Byron Crawford is here.
All right, Jeff, Dave Reeves of the Weather Service is on the phone. Dave, you've seen something.
Yes, we've been tracking this tornado on radar, and we just witnessed it passed north of Standiford Field here. It was north of the fairgrounds. To us it appeared like it maybe went over the Executive Inn area, but I'm sure it was north of there. It was moving almost due east, and it was quite a black shaft, and you could see debris lifting up in the shaft. So anyone in eastern Jefferson County and the counties just east of Jefferson should, I would say, take cover at once if possible.
Dave, is there any indication that there is more than one tornado in the vicinity?
No. Once these echoes get right overhead on our radar, we just see one big spot, and it's quite difficult until they move out away from us, say 10 miles east of us, then we start picking them up again. But we didn't have any indication there'd be more than one funnel. But it's not uncommon at all to have, 2 or 3 funnels. We did see this one touch down, and it was quite a swirl.
All right, David, I suppose that the rules for taking cover in tornadoes then should apply, and people should definitely, if they can, move out.
Definitely. If you're in eastern Jefferson County or the counties just east of Jefferson, very definitely I would take some kind of shelter if I could find it.
All right, thank you, Dave Reeves of the Weather Service. Jeff?
All right, Byron, I guess it might be a good idea just to go over one more time some of these rules here for tornado safety. You should seek inside shelter in a tornado cellar or basement or steel-framed or reinforced concrete building of substantial construction. Stay away from windows. In homes, the corner of the basement toward the tornado, usually the southwest corner, generally offers the greatest safety. People in houses without basements will receive some protection by taking cover under furniture, such as a large table against an inside wall in the home. In office buildings, stand in an interior hallway or lower floor, preferably in the basement. In factories, on receiving a tornado warning, post a lookout. Workers should move quickly to sections of the plant offering the greatest protection. In open country, move away from the tornado's path at a right angle. If there is no time to escape, lie flat in the nearest depression, such as a ditch or a ravine. And we've had these sightings, and Bob Johnson was in here with a report from the police about some of the activity that had happened out at Freedom Hall. There were some reports that there was some damage out there at the fairgrounds. We don't have much more on that story. We will. It's 4:44 on WHAS. We have sort of suspended our normal operations here as this tornado situation develops. We have News Director Glenn Baston here, and Glenn, what have we now?
Well, we've just talked with Freedom Hall, and they're still trying to assess the damage out there, I should say, at the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center. And according to an official, they really don't know what the damage is there. They do know that apparently one of the horse barns was damaged by these winds. They do not think at this time that Freedom Hall has been hurt. Let me emphasize, if I may, Jeff, that we will pass along all the information that is available from the Weather Service, from Dick Gilbert, from the police. Please do not tie up the phone lines of these agencies. If you have something to report, a specific item, please report it to the police, but don't call them or someone else to find out what's going on. Jeff?
Glenn, at this point, we have a report from City Police that the tornado is still rather strong and is moving into the St. Matthews area at this time.
Okay, Jeff has something new to add, I think.
Glenn, why don't you just come over here very informally? You can't do it on that line. I've got John Burke of the Weather Service on the line here, and we'll just make the right connections, and we'll be...
All right. Yes, John.
Yeah, that storm, we could watch it come right in on the airport here, Glenn. There was no funnel in it until it actually got right to the airport. Then a funnel developed right in the parking lot north of the terminal building and moved on to the east. And it's moving eastward 45 to 50 miles per hour. So this was 10 minutes ago, so that's over in the eastern part of Jefferson County now, moving on eastward. However, Glenn, we do have another big storm down south of us, headed east, and it's headed in the direction of Mount Washington, another one about the same size. And so for the next hour or so, the Mount Washington area certainly should be on the alert for developments and take all proper precautions, like we were mentioning earlier.
Okay, now this cloud, this storm that is moving through Jefferson County, does it appear on your radar to be moving out of the heavily populated area?
Yes, it's over east of, I would say east of Bowman Field now, and moving on eastward at about 45 to 50 miles an hour. And as I say, when it went through here, it didn't have a funnel when it came in, but the funnel developed right here in the parking lot. And then it moved on the eastern. We could see it move on off to the east. And that's when I left the area before, because I was going to get out of there. I was right next to the window, and I was talking to Chuck, and I just thought it was time for me to leave.
I can't really say that I blame you. The Mount Washington storm, what does it appear right now to, does it appear to be another severe one?
Yes, another one, and on the intensity of the one we had, and it could very well contain a tornado also. So those people in that area to the south of Louisville, across through into the Mount Washington area there and on across in that direction from Oklahoma on across through there. Just take precautions. I would certainly advise getting down in the basement with your portable radio and stay on top of the situation.
Did these two storms that you're talking about now appear to be the major ones that are developing at the moment?
Well, at the moment, yes. We've had development and dissipation throughout the afternoon. Storms build, and then after a while, they tend to dissipate once they use up all the energy available. I would imagine this storm that just passed through here has probably reached maximum, and then probably approaching a dissipating stage at this time. But nevertheless, in the east of Jefferson County, it should be on the alert for the next hour or so anyhow.
What did you estimate the winds in this particular one at?
We probably had a wind measurement here. Let me check just a moment. We got one on the ground at east.
Well, we're talking with John Burke, who's Chief Meteorologist for the Louisville National Weather Service.
Stand by just a moment, Glenn.
All right.